Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Foundry Virtual Tabletop version 12 from the ground up. And in our last episode, holy cow, this goblin lucked out like no other. I do feel like its luck is going to run out. So we do have our standby goblin in the brush up above. But if by some miracle this goblin's able to actually survive one full round of all these guys just opening up on him, he is going to, on his next action, hide behind the horse and he's going to throw his weapons out and say, I give up, or something like that. I don't think that's going to happen, which is why we have the one up here. Now, one other thing we might do just to add to it and make it seem like this goblin who is innocent is a little more important is actually give it a name. And the way we can do that is if we right click on it twice. I have open the fantasynamegenerators.com site, and I have goblin names. So I'm going to hit the random button a couple times here and just choose one out of the list here. Let's do Cerise. Cerise, I think it is. So if we do that, SREEZ, like so, and then we'll go ahead and update the token. So one thing, when your players actually see that a token actually has a name and not just some kind of adjective and the type of creature they are, they might think that this is a more special one or one specifically that I want to kill, kind of subconsciously. So in hopes that that's the case, we will go ahead and just have this one in wait, because like I said, I don't think this one's going to survive an entire round, because if we go look, that guy just finished going, and we have Yoku, Kirila, Tazaraz, and Celine, and all of them can do ranged. So if this guy survives, it was meant to be, and maybe I'll end up giving him a name instead, or maybe even change his name to Cerise. I don't think, does this have the thing where you can identify or unidentify with tokens? I don't think so. I think that's with items and stuff where you can actually click, it's identified, it's unidentified, this is the name if it's unidentified. Alright, so let's continue on and see exactly what is going to be happening. That was the wrong one. In this next round, because like I said, I don't think this goblin has much longer to live on this planet. That's his turn. We're going to go ahead and end his turn. We got Yoku. And as I also said, this is a back-to-back episode. If there was any comments between the last time and this time, I haven't seen them yet. Or from the last episode to this episode, because this is back-to-back. Hopefully, the next episode I'll have my new computer and really be able to, do some cool stuff. Unfortunately, it won't change the size of the screen and stuff we're doing, but that's just so you can actually see everything without having to make it super big on your screen or stretch multiple monitors or anything like that. Alright, so let's continue. So Yoku is going to target the goblin, which looks like it's already targeted, and is going to swap weapons. So put away sword, sheath sword, grab bow. That is one thing. I usually don't care if a player swaps weapons. Some DMs might say, no, you have to drop the bow on the ground and draw your sword. I might do that in this case, because he's just sheathing his sword, technically he also has a shield. So I might say, you can put one of them away, you have to drop the other. And I believe they do have a sword and a shield. Let's just go double check. Yeah. So they would be able to, sheath one and would have to drop the other. But if it's just a one-to-one, usually I'll let them do it, unless sometimes I've actually had players say no, I think it makes more sense that I would have to drop my sword than, you know, find where it actually goes in the sheath and put it away. Ask your GM, or if you're the GM, you can decide yourself. For this, I'm probably just going to say, you know, he's going to drop his sword and stow his shield, and grab out his bow, and he's going to go ahead and open fire on said god. Well, I guess not a bow, it's even a crossbow. So he's going to shoot at the goblin with a 19. I'm pretty sure that hits. Let's go double check. Yeah, 15, 19 is totally going to hit. Also, I guess I could have just looked right here. Because, yes, it totally hits. Oops. Yes, it totally hits. There we go. Like I said, if this goblin survives, he only has 3 hit points. I think this goblin's dead no matter what, because I think Yoku's strength is higher than that. But let's double check. So Yoku now gets to roll damage, and if we go look at his strength modifier alone is +4. It's going to kill the goblin. So any damage to this poor little guy is going to kill him, especially max damage. So with an 11, I need to be in the GM screen. With the 11, I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and you'll see our goblin falls deader than a doornail. Although I guess doornails really aren't dead. Alright, so at this point, we are now out of combat. I think one of the first things that my players would do, I'm going to go ahead and end combat and say yes. Now we'll go and close that. So one of the first things your players generally going to do after combat is anyone that needs help is going to try and get help. So Yoku's going to drop stealth so that his friends can see him, and probably come over to Saline and ask if there's anything that she can do to help. So Saline, I'm going to go ahead and target, whoops. So if I do that, there we go. We're going to target him, and we're going to go ahead and do a cure wounds. Really, here at this point, targeting doesn't do too much because he's not trying to avoid it or anything. So the heal wounds is definitely going to go off. So we're going to click this. I'm going to see if I can see where it was that it didn't do that. So consume spell slot is set. Level 1. Let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, we're just level 1. We don't have anything else. Oh, blank means that, oh, I don't have a cure wounds. That's why, you know what? We don't have a cure wounds left. We have used both of our slots, apparently. I don't remember doing it. Actually, I think I do. I remember, yeah, that's not going to be good for them. All right, so the goblin's dead. They can't do anything. Yoku's going to come back up here, and they're going to proceed towards the horse. So I'm just going to move them as a group. Not really a big deal. At this point, I would say that roll a perception. So each of them, if I go to the party, can I do it as... Oh, we don't have the party thing here, do we? Wait, we should. Hold on one second. Oh, because this is the players. Is that why? Why am I not seeing the part? Or the group, right? Let's just call this P-A-R-T. I thought we had this already. Is that... We're in version 12. I'm a little confused at the moment. Oh, we do have the party one. Okay, never mind. I just didn't know where I put it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So one thing we can do as GM, we can do a lot of these roles ourselves and stuff. Like you can go in here, and sometimes there will be options, you know, like if I say I want to go... Actually, this one might not have it. Award. No. Play replace members. No. Short rest, long rest. No. They could do a short rest, which would definitely be good. I must be thinking of the Pathfinder one that actually has options to like roll different things. So we're gonna have everyone go ahead and do a perception, and this will be relatively low because I want them to see this bush up here moving. So I'm gonna say let's say it's a 10, 12, something like that. So we're gonna say 12. Before they do that though, I'm gonna go ahead and allow them to do their short rest. So I think the only one that really benefits from it would be him. So we're gonna go ahead and do a short rest. We're gonna roll our die, and it looks like did pretty good. Got 2 plus the 2, which is 4. So we're 7 of the 10, not terrible. And it's not a new day, so we'll go ahead and do that. And the only other person that might benefit from it would be I don't think our other one could, but I think this one, they have arcane recovery. So you can see once a day they can use this, and this will allow them to recover, I believe it's 1 spell slot. There's a formula. I think if we go in here, actually I guess if we go might not show it as a, if I go to edit here. So you learn to regain some of your magical energy by studying your spell book once per day. When you finish a short rest, you can choose expended slots to recover. The spell slots can have a combined level that is equal to or less than half your wizard level, minimum of 1 usually. I think that says rounded up. So yeah, so half the wizard level is 1. So that'd be half rounded up, puts it back at 1. So in this case, I don't think they expended any spell slots though. So yeah, they have both their spell slots there. I don't think a cleric gets any kind of ability like that. No Radiant Soul, Healing Hands. They do have Healing Hands. That's okay. Yeah, so they're not going to be able to get theirs up until they get a long rest. He hasn't expended any, or she, I don't know, hasn't expended any. So we're going to go ahead now and have them do a perception. So we'll have each of them do perception. And this is a lot easier when the players are doing it themselves, because you don't have to keep clicking 5 billion things. And with other modules, such as Token Action HUD, where you don't have to keep opening your character sheet and stuff. And a lot of times I would do these also as hiddens. In this case, it's not that important, so I'm just letting them be normal. Alright, so I said it was a 12. So Kirla and Yuku, these two right here, I guess that kind of makes sense. Or no, actually, I guess it's you. That doesn't make as much sense. They're kind of focused on the horses and looking at the horses, but they do see the bush. Who is it? The seas. Saline and Tazraz actually see the bush move. Now, one other thing, I don't remember now if we did it or not, but as before I would have them do that. I don't remember if I said it earlier or not, but if we go back to the actual adventure module and look at what it says, usually as they're approaching the horses is when they go look. And I don't remember if I actually mentioned that the horse saddlebags have been looted and an empty map, leather map case lies nearby. So that's also a pretty big thing for this adventure, in kind of leading them to, you know, knowing that there's something that they need to find. So far, they know that Gundren and Sildar left the night before. They came around the bend. This is Gundren and Sildar's horses. They know that the saddlebags have been looted. There's a map case laying on the ground that looks empty. Your players might also want to go loot the goblins for junk, arrows if they use arrows. The rest of their stuff usually I will have as damaged. It's not high quality. It's not going to sell for full price. Usually I make it about half price when they try and sell it. But now at this point, then they roll their thing, and two of them notice that there's a bush moving up here, and they kind of go on guard. And I'm sure that at that point, Tazaraz is probably going to move around here and prepare to attack, or maybe even move up into the brush and stealth out. We have Kirla that might move here and prepare to attack. Oh, I think I'm in the wrong screen again. We have Celine that also, Celine here that's probably going to move here and kind of be in more of a defensive position. Yoku, of course, we're going to have to move her, rotate her so she's facing the right way. Yoku is actually going to move forward and actually try and investigate what it is. So as they go, we go 5, 10, 15, maybe 20, and 25. And they're going to do a perception at this point. So let's go ahead and do a perception. Normal. Great. Let's see what that is. Total, they have an 11. I was going to say that, our goblin that's up here is actually not hard to find at all. Wow, they're right next to him. I'm going to put them right here instead. I will say at this point, they hear a small voice coming from the brush, and it's saying, no attack, no attack, no attack, and sees a scimitar and a short bow be thrown out of the bush, and says, no weapons, I have no weapons here. And two little hands poke up out of the bush, straight up in the air, and this little goblin comes out. So we'll go ahead and unhide them. And here is where your players, obviously this thing is not trying to be hostile towards them. So even if they had triggers saying if something hostile comes out, tries and attacks or something like that, I'm going to open fire. Hopefully they don't say things like, I'm going to shoot the next thing that moves that comes out of that brush. But it could. And you could always give them the option to say, never mind, I'm not going to do it. They don't have to be locked into it if they don't want. So here we have Cerise comes out and has his or her hands up saying, I not want to do this. Gimmick make me. Which is also another seed. This is Gimmick is kind of a bugbear. Actually, is Gimmick a bugbear? Trying to remember. So Gimmick is kind of a sub-commander of the Kragma Hideout. And then there's Clarg, who's there, that is kind of the boss that's there, and really mean. Gimmick doesn't like Clarg. Clarg is under, I cannot remember the actual main boss that's at the Kragmar Keeper Manor or whatever. So anyway, hopefully at this point your players will have a bit of compassion, see that this poor little goblin doesn't even want to be here. He's kind of being forced against his will, and would be more than happy to help them out. So if they do that, they might bind him or something because they don't trust him or something along those lines. If we go back to our story here, under the sword here, we can see that if they actually get a goblin that's unconscious or something like that, the goblin has information that they can share. Part of that I actually seeded with what I was saying. I talked about Yemick and Clarg a little bit. Well, actually, I talked about Yemick. So as you can see here, there's a bugbear leader named Clarg. So these are the things that he knows and can actually, share. That there's a bugbear leader named Clarg. Clarg reports to King Grawl. That Yemick, I don't see Yemick in here, but I would think that Yemick would probably be in here as well. Maybe this guy's one of Clarg's actual little scouts. They might know something about Cragmaw Castle. They have information on capturing Gundren. What happened to him? That they took him, and that someone named the Spider was paying the Cragmaws to capture Gundren and send him anything he was carrying to King Grawl. So yeah, that Sildar's location. This is actually with Yemick. And then also, this is part of the new thing, because the Phandelver and Below part. We have the Strange Goblins, which kind of gives you story leads into the next section. So at this point, you kind of have your players getting these seeds as to where to go next. So as the adventure states, and I'm not sure if it's right here or not, I think it is, the next thing that happens is they might go down the trail to the cave. Now, a couple things can happen here. Is this is more theater of the mind. And what I usually do with theater of the mind is, we don't have a map up, or we just go back to the main map. This is the right one. So we could go back, just to a landing map of the Phandalin regional map or something like that. So if we go activate that one, so we can take them back there. We can let them know roughly where they are. That they are roughly right. There we go. Oh, why can't I move that? Am I in the wrong? Oh, I'm on a player. That's why. So, there we go. So, yeah, I guess that's fine, because right here is actually the hideout. So, at this point, like I said, this is where you can go to Theater of the Mind, which is without maps. You're just describing it, because it does have in the adventure that you are now, I don't know if it's in here or there's one between the two. Definitely feels like it's something between the two. Let's go look. The Goblin Ambush here. Oops, not that one. I'm in Journal. So if we go in here, and they might have removed this part. I'm not 100% sure. So a Dangerous Journey. I think it's this one, the Goblin Trail right here. So this is just kind of getting your players used to, traps and stuff. So two things happen while they're going on this Goblin Trail, and this is a chance where your Goblin can be deceitful, or you can have them actually, kind of learn to trust the party and feel like, that he's part of them, or, he's helping them out, and this is good, and they're truly going to let him go, or whatever. You could even play up where the goblin wishes that he was king, if he was king, or the boss, if he was boss, that he wouldn't care about the spider or whatever, and that maybe try and talk the players into helping him become the new king, and they might do that or whatever, the new boss of the Cragmaw hideout. But anyway, as they're going, there are two things that happen, and this goblin probably knows about at least one of these. Maybe the other one, because he's so light, he wouldn't know about. But one is that 10 minutes going down the trail, you would explain that they are proceeding down the trail, and you have everyone roll a DC 15 perception check. Now, the nice thing about this is you can actually click on this that says request roll, and then your players will get this little perception thing, right? And each of them would be able to do this if you have players that can be selected. What we can do, just so that they can actually have players selected, is we can go ahead. I'm going to shrink this for a moment. We're going to go ahead and, oh, this isn't the Pathfinder one either. In Pathfinder, there's a little unpack and pack. But because we're doing Theater of the Mind, I just want to have the tokens available. So we're just going to drag out our tokens here so that they can actually select their token and do the different checks. So here we want them to do the checks. So we would, in this case, because we're controlling everyone, can we move them now? Yes, okay, good. So we would do Yoku first and then click on that, do that, and we'll see that they rolled an 8, right? Then this one. So they're not going to necessarily see how they're doing. Obviously, that one's pretty good. And you might even ask them to do a blind, in which case they would click that, and then up here they would choose blind GM. And now you'll see they get the little question marks, so they have no idea what's actually happening. So there we go. So as GM, I can actually go in here and look, and I can see, you know, that the DC on this, let's go look, was a DC 15. So Tazaraz and Celine, wait, I'm in the wrong part. Here it is. Yoku failed and Celine failed. Kirla and Tazaraz actually succeeded. Now we can tell them that they tell the party to stop, and they notice that there's a snare trap. Probably more likely would be Tazaraz, since they're the rogue. After that, a little while later, 10 minutes after that, they're walking, and once again there will be a little higher, or not higher, I guess. There will be another check where you're going to have them see if they see anything. And if they fail, the first person that's in the marching order will actually have to do the save to see if they fall, taking 3 or 1d6 bludgeoning damage. You know, so these are kind of things to help you know, oh, be aware of traps and stuff. And then finally, they get to Kragma Hideout, which is the next section. So I'm just going to leave those guys there. In the next episode, we'll go ahead and look at Kragma Hideout and how I would probably run that and stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Join my Discord channel. Tell other people about my channel. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.